Hello and welcome to the Forex Trading for Newbies Forex Trading Course Overview. Here are some of the things that you are going to be learning in this exciting Forex Trading course. First, you're going to learn how to download and install your free Forex trading software. The great thing about this, naturally besides the fact that it's free, is that it is full featured. What you can do with this software is you can chart any of your favorite Forex currency pairs, you get real-time data, and you also get a practice account where you have the ability to see how things progress with your trading before you commit real funds. This is very exciting news and will allow you to hone your Forex trading skills as we continue through the course and allow you to follow along step by step and do things in exactly the right fashion. We have a quick start tutorial for you that will help you hit the ground running, so to speak. The quick start tutorial goes through lots of things in an abbreviated form in order to get you set up again as quickly as possible. Also, how to set up your Forex trading software, creating your workspace for profit. This is a more in-depth, step-by-step setup so that you can tweak your software workspace exactly the way you want it. And also, we show you how to set up each of the screens that we'll be using in the course so that it's so much easier for you to follow along and understand instantly all the things that are going on so that it makes perfect sense to you and that Forex trading becomes simpler than you ever thought possible. The ever important introduction to risk control. There is no such thing as reward without risk. We want you to know that up front. We want you to be an educated Forex trader, and learning about risk control is absolutely essential. Here is where the rubber meets the road. There's a lot of theory surrounding Forex trading, but it's important to see live trading examples. So, we'll show you how to place trades with your software in the same fashion as we're doing in the live trading examples. Another live trading example, we show you the use of indicators and how indicators can be used to create your own customized Forex system. Breakout trading, very, very, very effective. Breakout trading takes advantage of trend momentum, either bullish or bearish, and allows you to ride that trend for maximum profit. Another live trading example, because we learn by doing the best way. Live trade follow-up, absolutely essential to cover what went right with the trades, what went wrong with the trades, etc. More live trade wrap-up here. Essential Forex correlation trading, how the currency pairs move in relation to one another can make the difference between mediocre trading results and incredible trading success. And we go into this so that you will understand the basics of Forex correlation trading. Forex support and resistance, very, very important to get an idea of where prices may travel, where momentum may begin, where momentum may end. These are all very important things for you to know. And quite naturally, much, much more is covered in this extensive Forex Trading for Newbies course. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right in and start trading Forex. Hello and welcome to the next module. Previously, we covered the file menu. And now we're going to cover in this module the view menu. Starting off with languages. This is a sub-menu, this section over here. Anything off the main menu is called a sub-menu. And we'll start off with languages here. You can select any of the desired languages, and you can switch the terminal interface to this language. Now, for the language changes to take effect, you have to restart MetaTrader, just so you'll know. Next on the list, toolbars. Again, this is called a submenu for managing the toolbars. Active toolbars are checked. The selection of a toolbar allows you to enable or disable that particular toolbar. Let's go through a for instance here. Let's click this on standard, and you see the standard toolbar disappears. Go back down and see it's not checked there. So we'll check the standard toolbar and pop that back up. And the same holds true for the other toolbars as well, all along here. Line studies, charts. You'll see the charts toolbar disappears. Activate the charts toolbar. And let's roll back down here to customize. In customize, you have an opportunity to change some things here. And this is set up for your standard toolbar here. If you wanted print preview, you could either insert that or you could remove it. New order, you can see here, you remove the new order and you close that, then new order disappears. So go back to customize, and to insert, get new order back in there, and you can see new order appears again. And you can do the same thing with any of the others. You want to go back through and you want to remove expert advisors, for instance. As you can see, when we go up here, expert advisors is gone, but we want to keep that in. Okay, so let's close that. All right, so let's continue on here. The status bar can enable or disable the status bar here, and that's located in the lower part of the terminal window. The data bar, let me show you this, and that bar is a little bit down at the bottom here, a little bit off the screen. You can see the current profile, click to open a list. So you can go back through profiles just like in the, and we can see it's default, and default is listed down here at the bottom as well. Okay, let's move on to charts bar. Okay, and you can see it takes this part of way down here, which are just the tabs for scrolling through the various types of charts. There we go. Okay, we'll pop back up here. And now here we can go through each of these, the full screen mode. Now if you're in full screen mode, it will keep these charts all the same size, but you can still maximize these and have lots and lots of chart room. So this is great. You want to just do one particular chart, then wow, look at that. That's great. We've got a lot of room here to work, and we can still also scroll through the various charts by clicking on the tabs at the bottom. Let's take that back to resize. And what I'll do here is I'll hit F11. We'll go back to the standard configuration, and we'll tile everything, and we're back set in the default configuration here with the default profile. Okay, now you can do things, Market Watch, which is window to the left, completely disappeared. You can also use a Control M for Market Watch. The data window, toggle that back in. The data window here, when you click on any of the charts, the data from the chart pops up, as well as the data from the indicators on that particular chart. So that's a real handy feature right there. Okay. Pop back over here, go to Navigator. That takes the Navigator menu down here out. T for terminal. You can see it takes that information away down here. Terminal information. For the strategy tester, if you're creating your own trading systems, which does take more than just a small level of skill in order to do it correctly, but you can do that and test things and optimize them down at the bottom. Remove that, and we're back here again. That basically wraps it up for the view menu. Next, we'll cover the insert menu. Hello and welcome to the insert menu module. Before we get started with the insert menu itself, select a chart and maximize it, as I'm doing here, so that we can have a larger chart to work with. Now let's pop on over to the insert menu, and this is where many of the goodies of MetaTrader are. The indicators, including the moving average, and just to give you an example, we'll click on moving average here. Dialog box pops up. We get an opportunity to change the color. If we wanted it to be blue, we can change whether we wanted solid or dashed line. The thickness of that line. We can apply that to the open, high, lower, close, or a number of other factors. We can determine whether it's simple, exponential, smoothed, or linear weighted. We can also set up a shift to the left or to the right, and also the period of the moving average. Here we've got a 14 period moving average. Okay. Let's set the visualization to all time frames. Levels we're going to ignore for now. Go back. And there we have it. Nice moving average. And as you hover your mouse over it, it'll tell you the period. And you can also see the value of the moving average at any particular time, which is also very useful. Now, to change the moving average, simply hover over it, thusly. Now you can either delete the indicator, or you can go back to properties, and say you wanted to change it to a 100 period moving average. You can go back and you can do that. A lot flatter, isn't it? That's just the way it is. All I'm doing to move the chart, the data on the chart, is I am clicking the left mouse button, holding it down, moving it to the right or to the left, just so you'll know. Now we can pop down here and completely delete that particular indicator. Lots and lots more here. Oscillators, Bill Williams alligator, average directional movement index, average true range, which is very important and handy. And then these are categorized as to the type of indicators that there are. Trending indicators, oscillators, and here's a very popular one, the stochastics. And all I'll do here is just show you that the oscillator indicators show up down here in their own indicator section. Okay, and you can click on the left mouse button and hold it down and drag that section and size it the way you'd like. So if you want to see more that way, you can do that. Okay, so with here, stochastics, completely, you can eliminate that. And we can go back here to lines. As you can see, indicators, we've taken a look at all these. You can do custom ones as well. Volume, oscillators, Bill Williams, the alligator, fractals. Come here and do lines. You can do a vertical line, for instance. Vertical line with the value right there of the date. Pop down and do a horizontal line. If you want to do a horizontal line, say right there. Now, I'll show you something about the lines. You hover over it, it shows the value. If you want it to reflect a different value, like I said, we want it to reflect a little higher value of here, we can do that. Hover over it. Go to the objects list. See where it says objects list? And it shows, that's not what I want to use right now, but it shows the value right here, what's what. Vertical line, horizontal line. So let's pop through here and change the parameters. And let's say we want to change the parameters to 1.48295. We can do that very easily. 95. And there it hops up there. Now, if you want to change the color, no problem. Color change is easy. You want it to be thicker. Be green. It can do that. Let's not make it green. Everything on there is green. Aqua. Nice aqua color. Same thing with the vertical line. You want to move it somewhere, you can. To a different date. If you want to move it to, let's see, which is this? Okay, that's October the 2nd. You want to move it to the 3rd. Let's do that. And we're over on the 3rd, just like that. Want to remove the objects? No problem. Go to the objects list, hit that, delete, delete, gone. Just like that. All right, back to the menu. Trend lines. This is a little bit different. Rather than a one-click, a trend line is a two-click situation. We click, and we draw the line the way we want, and then we release. We're going to do it this way. Put it on these, like that. Okay. Okay, you want to have the change the trend line parameters. See the values there. You can change that as well, and you can also delete that. Pop that way, delete, and we're out. Okay. And I'm just showing you these first few so you can get a feel for working with the menu, that type of thing. But some of these do deserve an extra explanation. Now the trend line by angle, this is really neat. Click, hold down the left mouse button. Now you see down where my cursor was, see it says 90 degrees. Now see, I want to draw something at the 45-degree angle. How about this? How about I go to properties? Let me go to object list, sorry. I want to edit that. Parameters, angle in degrees, 45. There we go. And it's interesting how the 45 lines up with that, isn't it? That's a topic for another day. All right. But that's trend line by angle for us. We can delete that. Go to the objects list. And there are a number of ways to do that. I thought I deleted it. Select, delete. There we go. All right. So let's pop back up. Channels. Linear regression, standard deviation channels, Fibonacci channels. You've got GAN, GAN lines, GAN fan, GAN grid. You've got a little bit of everything. Here, If we start talking about the linear regression channel, it's a statistical analysis tool, and it's just used for forecasting of future values on the basis of available data. If the trend is ascending, then one can logically suppose that the next bar will be a bit higher than the preceding one. The linear regression method allows you to have a statistical demonstration of such logical conclusions. Now, for this tool, 2 points must be drawn. Okay. And take a look at that. It's interesting, isn't it? Capture everything within that channel. Another interesting tool. All right, the regression channel. Okay, so again, just wanted to show you some samples of some things. Rectangles. This allows you to draw some objects on the chart if you wanted to do that for some particular reason. If you wanted to draw a rectangle and then you wanted to add text, for instance, you can go through here. You can add text. Rectangle is blue. Did I spell rectangle right? You'll have to help me out on this. Okay, here we go. There we go. This rectangle is blue. Okay, now as far as the text is concerned, go to text properties. You can change it any way you'd like to. If you want the font to be larger, you can go to a larger font. You want the color to be different, you can go to a different color. You want any of the other parameters. You want the angle to be 45 degrees. You could change that. Value to be there. There we go. It doesn't mean anything in this particular point, but this could be very handy if, for instance, you are drawing a trend line, for instance. And the trend line is going in that particular direction as well. So you can label that trend line. That in itself is pretty handy. So let's delete that. Delete this. Let's go to the objects list here. This is always... Alright, all the objects are gone there. We'll continue on. Arrows. Now arrows are very handy if you're wanting to identify a few things. For instance, let's say this was the start of the up move. We'll go to the arrow thickness. No change there. That makes sense. And if we want an up move to be green, we can change that. And there we go. Big green arrow right there. No problem. If we wanted to do another arrow for something along the lines of the a down arrow, we can do that. Okay, it kept that color, but we're going to go straight here to red for down. I'm going to thicken that up just a bit to make that one a little bit larger. And so, as you can see, handy. These can be moved around as well, so if you want to move them from place to place as you experiment and learn things, that's fine too. Okay, so I'll just leave those there. We'll continue down. Now, Andrew's pitchfork and some of these other things, cycle lines, can be very handy as well. So we'll pop in Andrew's pitchfork. Now, this tool is drawn on 3 points and represents parallel trend lines. The first trend line, we'll start here. Second, we'll go here. Third, we'll go here. Okay. There we are. There's the Andrew's pitchfork there. You see it containing prices here and having a median trend line that the prices oscillate around. That can be very, very handy. Let's pop down here to cycle lines. Cycle lines are interesting. Let's see, let me do that again so we'll do that correctly. You see how you can change that cycle from larger to smaller. This could be very handy if you're looking to find some sort of cycle or pattern inside of the data, such as maybe looking for, it moves through every 8 hours there's a peak, or every 8 hours there's a valley. No matter how short term these cycles might be, they can end up being very, very handy. So let's remove this, remove all these from our objects list, and clean up our chart a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now here, text label. Okay, we'll just put this as peak. Okay, now the interesting thing about this is anchored, so it's a little bit different. You can see where it shifts here. Label properties, bottom left corner. But it's still, you can just move it around to wherever you'd like for it to be. And you can also change the properties of that particular label. Right here in parameters, you can angle it as well. X distance, Y distance, and you can change the name, the color, the size of the font. If you run it really big, no problem at all. So that wraps up the coverage of the insert menu. And next we're going to go on to the very exciting chart menu. Thank you very much. In the previous module, we explored the MetaTrader insert menu. In this module, we're going to explore the charts menu. And before we get started, I'm going to simply maximize the euro dollar US dollar chart here. You could do the same as you follow along. And let's go through. All right, objects. The objects are going to be such things as the arrows and horizontal lines, etc. In fact, I'll do a quick example. Here's a horizontal line. I'll place a line there, and as we go in the object submenu, we can click here and give us a list of the objects, and there's that particular object. And you'll notice something here too. As you hover over, you see that that horizontal line has an identifier of 34,695. Objects list here, 34,695. The identifiers are there so that you keep the ones you want and don't accidentally erase the wrong type of object that you have on the chart. To delete that, we could click that button, or we can pop back up here, delete last. Should take that off since it was the last one. It was the only one that was there. Let's move down further, and as you can see in each of the menu items here, there's also some hotkeys. Alt 1 for bar chart, we'll click that, and there's a simple bar chart, open, high, low, close. Alt 2 for candlesticks, you can use Alt 2, or you can go to chart, scroll down. Line chart. Line chart's typically done with the closing price only. It gives you different perspectives, and that's why the variety of charts is laid out like that. We'll go back to our initial default of candlesticks here. Okay, foreground chart, or you could set it as a background chart. Now you can see that won't do anything initially, but if you set it as a foreground chart, which is the standard, this means that the indicators will be on the chart as well. That if you set it as a, if you click this and you go to non-foreground, that means the indicators will be up front rather than behind. And looking at it, doesn't seem like it makes very much difference. In fact, let's take a horizontal line here. Okay. And let's change the foreground to a background chart. Okay. You see here that over here that the line is on top of the chart essentially. So we'll move this back to the default there, and we can go back to delete last, as we did in our objects list, and we can move down further here to periodicity. This is a fun one. We can move the charts to different periods, 1 minute up to the big picture monthly, and lots of different places in between, as you can see right here. And there are numbers of ways to do that. You could do this on this particular toolbar as well. We had it set at 4 hours, so we'll stay there with that one. All right, this one is going to be very useful for you. These are templates. Now, say for instance you wanted to create a new template. So let's just set this up, and let's say we had a horizontal line, and we put the horizontal line there. Go to charts, templates. What else do we want to do? Let's see, what will I want to add? Oh, let's set this as a bar chart. And I don't want to jump ahead here. Let me show you. Let's save the template. And you're asked to name the template once that pops up, and we'll call it new template 1. And we'll save that template. Okay, now let's go back to the objects list, go back to candlesticks, go up here to objects, delete the last. Let's go down to templates and click on new template 1, and all of our settings are saved, horizontal line as well as chart type. This is especially useful when you are doing such things as, well, just about anything really. You can set these up, and you can go along and you can set up templates for actually pretty much anything you want. We'll go here to the next chart. Let's apply the template there. New template 1. Now you see it applies the template here, okay, and turns this into a bar chart. Now if we had a moving average or any other indicator on here, this would be listed here as well. The horizontal line, of course, is at a whole different level because the price is here on a whole different level. So templates are very, very useful. And if we take this, say for instance, and we go down here and we say we want to save this as with this MACD, moving average convergence divergence, we want to save that particular type of chart setup as a template. We can save that, and we can call that something. We have to make a name, template 2. Now you'll notice something that I do here, and that's I keep the name continuous. That doesn't mean that you can't put dashes in there as well. You can do that as well if you wish. That's no problem at all. So new template 2. Okay, so let's go up here to the pound, and let's apply new template 2. Yeah, there we have it. The same indicator, same setup, everything all apply to a completely different chart. You can see the power in this. What we're going to do is pop back here, and we're going to move on from templates, but here's one thing we'll do is we'll set some templates up for some further studies, and we'll save a profile now that we're in templates. But first, I'm going to move further down, and we're going to work through the rest of this menu, and then we're going to come back to the templates because there's some information we need to cover there. Okay, refresh just brings all your data up to date. Grid, you can turn the grid, I'm going to maximize that. You can turn that grid on and off. Go to the object. I'm just going to take this horizontal line off. You turn the grid on and off. You can also set up so volume is visible if you use volume in your studies. You can turn auto scroll on and off. See, that's auto scroll off, auto scroll on. It pops back and sets it up so that the rightmost part of the chart goes to the most current price. Okay, so here we go. Chart shift. You can move it away from here if you want to see, you want space in here to look at where the price will be going. Gives you more space there. And you can set that, you can change that basically by moving this particular line. And you see the little arrow up here to move that line. So we'll move chart shift back to standard. Zoom in and get a little closer in on the charts. You could do the same thing with the plus or minus keys here. Zoom out. I'm hitting the minus key to zoom out. You can see that happening. Now I'm hitting the plus key to zoom in. Okay. Let's go back here. Okay. Alrighty. Now I'm going to turn off auto scroll so you can see what step by step means. F12, step by step. Look at the rightmost part of the chart here. You see how that goes. Now that's a tedious way of doing it, going to the charts menu and going through it, clicking that each time. So you can just go up and hit F12, hit F12, hit F12, hit F12, hit F12. This is a great way to step through the data and see what is going to happen next. So if you're doing a study, and say we're looking at breakouts of supports and resistance, we can step through and we can see right here that the price is going sideways. It's formed a channel in between here. Again, we can chat about this type of thing later, but that we have a breakout here. It's just a great way to kind of practice too and see ahead of time which types of chart patterns lead to the types of significant moves, which lead to the types of profit that you're looking for. I'm going to go back and I'm going to set this on auto scroll. Okay. We've gone through step by step. Now let's go through some properties. Click on properties. Okay, properties of this particular chart. There are three default, at least in the current version of MetaTrader, default color schemes. The one that we see is the first default, the green on black. There's a yellow on black. You can see right there. Click that, it turns yellow on black. And let's go back to, I want to go back to candlesticks here. That was our standard. You can also reach properties by simply hitting the F8 key, like this. And there's black on white. Okay. See how that works? Black on white. Okay. Now, what we'd like to do here is let's set up a candlestick chart. We're going to modify this particular chart, and then we're going to save it as a template. Almost got tongue-tied. Save it as a template, and be able to use that template whenever we want. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with this color scheme, and then we're going to modify this to set up the types of candles the way we want them. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we're going to go here to bull candle, and we want the bull candle to be green. You can see the colors, a little prompt pops up there. So click green for that, for the bull candle. Now the bear candle's set up as black, and we want that to be red. So scroll down and left click your mouse on red, and here's the result. Now what I did is I just hit the plus key to enlarge that. Now you can see the border around there is black, and let's remove that border, and this is what we'll do. We'll change that bar up border to green to match the up candlestick, and we'll change the bar down border to red to match the bearish candlestick. And there you go. Hit plus again. Nice, pretty candlesticks. And a nice move up there too. So this is what we want to do. Let's go here, charts, template, save template. I've already created this one, but you go through and name it candlesticks 1, like this. See, if it's already in there, it'll tell you that it exists, and do you want to replace it. I've created this ahead of time, so yes, I want to replace it. You won't see this because you'll just be creating candlesticks1.tpl for the first time. And there we go. Okay, so that's how that chart looks with all the other ones there. Now, I'll show you how to apply this template. How easy it is to apply a template in general to any chart. Scroll down to template, go down to candlesticks 1. There we go. Scroll down to template, go down to candlesticks 1. There we go. All set up nicely. Now, let's pop back over here, go to profiles, and save the profile. Candlestick profile 1. Okay, so we'll pop back over, go to profiles. There's our default. Let's pop back over. We want candlestick profile 1. There's candlestick profile 1, all set up for us and ready to go. You could do this with any number of templates, set templates up any way you want for specialized studies, and this way you don't have to recreate your favorite settings manually each and every time you're in front of your screen and ready for your trading day. And that concludes our charts menu module. Thank you very much. Next we'll be covering the tools menu.